Jim Brown.
Well, good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here. I was able to leave work a little early today to make it out here because of the drive, but it's again a real pleasure. I realize you already had some dinner today, and hopefully I'll just put some icing on the cake of what's all, which you've already had a chance to do a little bit of this afternoon. I actually personally like to use quotes to help set the stage in many of my engagements. And there was an economist and former finance minister of Rwanda, Dr. Donald Karabuka, who was responsible for the economic reconstruction of Rwanda from 1990 to 1994. And his thoughts focus on what matters. And he said, I'm not interested in whether the glass is half empty or half full. I'm interested in figuring out how to fill the glass. And so today, hopefully what you've already heard today, hopefully a couple of my words will help you put a little bit more into your glass. And so I want to thank BEYA for the opportunity to be here. I've been out to BEYA several times, and it's a pleasure to be back here for the Stars and Stripes and to be able to participate in the mentoring session today. And so I have 5 points of advice I'd like to share today. And I have a personal story that goes with each one of those. The first, let me just go through all 5 and I'll walk you through each of the stories. Fail to succeed, challenge the status quo, trust but verify, have attitude, and define success. Fail to succeed. I'm a 3-time failure. It starts out with the fact that when I was in high school, I really wanted to be an architect. And my dad had recommended that because of my strong math background, I should probably consider engineering to be tough getting the job as an architect. So I pursued a dual degree in architecture and civil engineering. And so my freshman year, one of the courses I had was freehand drawing. That is the only final F that I got in my academic record throughout my entire academic career. I should have been assigned. I did a retake in the art department, got a C. But about 2 years later, I got a D in a design course that was only offered in the spring. And had to wait another year if I wanted to be an architect. So I changed my mind no longer did I want to be an architect. So I just got a degree in civil engineering. So that's a 2-time failure, the F, and didn't become an architect. I flew F-16s in my career. That was with the airplane I flew most of my career. And as a brand new lieutenant, my first operational assignment was to Kunsan Air Base in Korea. And when you get there, you have your initial check ride to make sure you're a fully mission qualified F-16 pilot. Well, just guess what happened on that check ride? I failed. And actually got additional training and had to go back and get the check again, so I wasn't quite up to snuff. But that was a motivator for me. It motivated me to put extra effort in for a couple of reasons. One, I was the only African American in my fighter squad. There's only 2 of us on the entire wing of pilots. And so I had to do some things, not only for me personally, but for those that come behind me. There's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that I adapted that really applies here. It says, the ultimate measure, and I use the term leader versus ultimate leader, but measure of a man, is not where one stands in comfort and convenience, it's one where one stands in challenge and controversy. And so no matter what your goals are, realize there's going to be some times where it's not going to quite work out and you might fail. But in order to succeed, it's how you pick yourself up, it's how you respond in that adversity that will determine how far you can go. And I just feel fortunate that I was able to pick myself up, get back up on the step, and continue my F-16 career and be where I am today. Second is challenge the status quo. Now, status quo, when translated, means the mess we're in. And so I'm a believer that you just don't go with the flow, that sometimes you get a challenge. Sometimes you need to ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. And you've got to really ask the tough questions. When you ask a question and someone tells you no, I really believe in never taking no as the final answer. Maybe you've all heard of the 5 stages of grief. I believe in the 5 stages of no. Hell no. No. We'll think about it. Not a bad idea. You should be doing it already. If there's something you really believe in, something you really want to do, don't stop at hell no. Get through all 5 stages. And as you do that, you may take a chance when you challenge the status quo. And so here about 3.5 years ago, when I was shortly just a little bit of ways from becoming the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, I had already gone to my confirmation hearing, waiting for confirmation. I did a video after the death of George Floyd. I knew I was taking a chance. It may impact my confirmation, but in my heart to hearts, it was the right thing to do. That video was inspired by our son, who called us on a Sunday afternoon. He was struggling with the death of George Floyd. And he asked me, Dad, what does PACAP going to say? The Pacific Air Force is going to say. And at that time, I was the commander of Pacific Air Forces. So what he's really asking me is, Dad, what are you going to say? And that made me think hard, because that was support of our son, be able to talk about something I really believed in, at the same time, put my confirmation in jeopardy. I decided to take the chance. The challenge is status quo, and I'm glad I did. Next is trust but verify. Now, as you got mentorship today, I'll just tell you that throughout my career, I never had just one mentor, because I didn't always trust each of my mentors. I'm a comparison shopper. So when I shop on Amazon, I read the reviews, I talk to different people, make sure I understand, because they all have a different perspective. They all have a different background. And they may be able to share something with me that I haven't heard from somebody else. I'd also wouldn't talk to my friends or trust them, because they may steer you down a path that may not be where you want to go. And again, a personal story. So the way we would work our assignments as second lieutenants at our F-16 training was if we could all agree, we would send it to the personnel center and they would just decide, here's where we're going to go. Well, there was 3 of us that wanted to go to Korea, but there's only 2 Korea slots. It was assignment to Florida. Florida was my second choice. I really wanted to go to Korea. So the rest of my classmates, there was 12 of us. They said, hey, CQ, why don't you just go ahead and take your second choice and call it good? I go, I don't want to do that. I want to go to Korea. And so we sent it off to the personnel center. All 3 of us went to Korea, nobody went to Florida. Trust but verify. I can guarantee you, because of that decision, I can trace this back to my career. Because of that, going to Korea allowed me so many different opportunities, it opened so many different doors. And it's one of those things, if it's something you really want, always ask, I really believe, always ask what you want, because the worst someone can do is tell you no. But they can't tell you yes if you don't ask. And so that's why I really believe in trust but verify. Next is to have attitude. We can debate about who's the greatest basketball player of all time. I think it's Michael Jordan, to be honest with you. And he said that you must expect great things of yourself before you can do them. When I think about having attitude, it's really having confidence in yourself. So when you walk in a room, you almost need to be a little bit cocky. Have a little bit of attitude when you walk in. be confident. Be confident even if you don't know the answer, just be confident. Because I can tell you as a leader, you can watch people as you walk in a room. You can tell those that have confidence, that have attitude, that have confidence in themselves versus those who are still trying to figure it out. I realize, I also believe that you also need to have a little of humility. You need to be a little bit humble. And I will guarantee you that I actually every day wake up just a little bit nervous. Because I really believe if I'm too cocky, something's going to bite me. And so it's important that you have that attitude, but you have a bit of humility as well. And I'll also tell you that that humility and that attitude, and having that attitude actually has opened doors for me. In my F-16 career, after failing my initial check ride, I had a dream of going to weapons school. And weapons school is, actually Top Gun is the Navy's version of the weapons school. And I say that because the weapons school was started back in 1949. Top Gun was about 1968. But the key part is, it's where you go, the top of our profession in the, particularly in the aviation community, but in the combat air forces. And I went through the school and I thought I did okay. It was really interesting that I got a phone call about a year after, or several months after I graduated, to come back as an instructor. And I didn't think I'd done that well. And the feedback I had gotten from the colonel that was hiring me was, because of your attitude is one of the reasons we're bringing you back. Now, I still think I'm a pretty talented pilot, but just having that attitude when you walk in a room and being able to be positive about things makes a difference. Last one is to define success. And so what I would offer to you, for every one of us, we need to define what success looks like. For some of us, it's just getting to Friday every week. Thank God for Friday. It could be getting down to just graduating, for those that are in school right now. It could be getting the next assignment. It could be a command tour. It could be whatever you define. But you need to define it for yourself. And once you define what success is, you need to understand if it's a long-term goal. Never take short-term happiness at the expense of your long-term goal. That's the advice I give. That's what I mean to others. What is it you want to do? And you can take short-term, happiness, but it may impact your long-term goal. And so it's important that you kind of determine how you're going to get there to make things happen. And then you need to tell somebody. There's a quote I use: success takes help. Failure, you can do alone. Success takes help. Failure, you can do alone. And so it's those things that when you share things with different individuals, they can help you open doors and get you to locations and places that you may not otherwise consider. Or maybe your family, who will help push you along. And so again, another personal story. So when I was in 1 star at the United States Central Command, I'll never forget it. It was a Sunday dinner with our sons. Now, our sons at that time were in high school. They're well out of high school now. And my wife, Shereen, who's here with me today, we were all sitting at the table and asked our sons, because it was one of those where it was impacting, everything I do, every assignment impacts our families. And I asked our sons, hey, I'm thinking maybe about hanging it up. What do you guys think? And they both looked at me and go, Dad, you need to keep going. And because of them, I'm standing here today. Because if they'd said, Dad, hang it up, I would have hung it up. Because it's those that support you that allow you to go do what you do. And I do joke about it, and I will say it again. My family supports me. My wife allows me to continue to do this. Every morning, she signs my permission slip, pins it to my backpack, and allows me to go to work one more day. I will tell you, I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And I go back to what I said earlier about fail to succeed. There's going to be some days that it doesn't go so well. And what I really believe, every day is a good day. Just some days are better than others. And I truly believe that. And I'm inspired by those I get to work with. And so those are my 5 points of advice. Fail to succeed, challenge the status quo, trust but verify, have attitude, and find success. And so I hope for every single one of you that there's something that inspires you. And I will say that there's those that inspire me and why I still serve. It's not those that have mentored me, it's those that come behind me that I want to make sure to keep the door open for them. And that's why I continue to do what I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. I enjoy the 4:30 get up. I enjoy the phone calls I have in the middle of the night because I want to be where the action is. I'm a huge NFL fan, and watching Patrick Mahomes this past week, think about it. I want to be in a place, when the pressure's on, I want the ball in my hands. And one of the reasons I like Patrick Mahomes, I'm a Cowboys fan, by the way. Don't make that throw out everything I said today. But the thing about Patrick Mahomes also, I graduated from Texas Tech, so did Patrick Mahomes, so naturally I'm a Mahomes fan. But the point of the matter is, for all of us that are doing things, that great things, and those that that are just getting started, still in school, you're an inspiration to me. Because I want to make sure that we keep the door open for you. I'm not one of the only to be here, because I spent much of my career as the only one in my squadron, in the room. And the goal is to get more and more opportunities for all of us. I just say that, for me personally, I never wanted to be advantaged or disadvantaged because of my background. I wanted folks to look at me and say, C.J. Brown is really good at what he does. And he deserves the opportunity. I hope that happens for all of you as well. Thank you all for the opportunity to say a few words to you. And it's a real pleasure to be here. Look forward to saying hi to you and while I'm here, shaking hands with you. Thank you.